It feels like every day AI is getting better and better, to the point where some photos, it's hard to tell if they're real or AI, especially for everyone on Facebook. And spotting the difference between what's real and what's AI is more important than ever. And after being tagged on this image in Twitter and finding out it was AI generated, I felt way closer to the Facebook moms than I initially thought. So I reached out to the creator to put myself to the test. This is Pratik, who specializes in generating some very interesting and very realistic AI art. So I asked him if he can generate 5 of the most realistic photos he can. And then I got another geoguessr pro to take those AI images and then pair each one with 3 actual Street View images to see if I can figure out which ones are real and which one is AI. I also sent the same test to 13 different geoguessr pros, and I'll put their results on screen after each round. Alright, I'm pretty nervous because someone with like 10,000 hours on Street View, this should be pretty easy, but let's go ahead and play ourselves to the test. Also, I was just informed that we have 5 images. Each one has 1 generated AI, but one of these has 2. So not only do I have to find out which one is AI out of these 5, but I also have to figure out which one has 2 and identify those 2 as well. But let's see how we do. Okay, round 1 immediately looks very, very difficult. But this looks like something you would see in like Indo-mainland Malay, especially with like this road quality. It looks pretty distinct. You can even see like we might even have some of that cloudy coverage right here from the Street View car potentially. Or like the dust from when we're driving, because we probably are driving left here, I would assume. Could be Indonesia or something like that. And this pole, I think, really makes sense for that region of the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and negate 4. I think that's real. Now we're looking at 1, 2, and 3. Potentially 2 of these could be AI. I think the pavement on top left looks like it could be something that resembles like Thai pavement. Again, I think we're gonna be in Southeast Asia, but what steers me away from 1 being AI generated is the telephone poles, the wires on top of the road here. I'm not too sure how good AI is at generating realistic telephone wires, but that feels like it would be hard for that to happen. And this does feel like something I would see in Thailand. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's either 2 or 4 or both, but let's see. I'm gonna try to get 100% all these because I really want to do well. I would say 2 looks the most unlike Street View coverage, but it's still so good. Like, it looks so realistic. What throws me off is the point of view in the background here. Like, this looks slightly more blurred than what you usually see on Street View, or like slightly a different tint of trees. This should be in focus too. This looks slightly distorted. This red pavement with a red soil, like where would this be? This is my hypothesis, is that it looks like something that was generated to be India that isn't actually India, because India Street View coverage would be like a different camera coverage. Yeah, the more I look at 2, the more I think it's AI generated. But again, the soil and everything does add up, but I don't know where I would place this in the world. It would have to be somewhere in Southeast Asia or like India. Wait, this is a crazy call out, but why is this side of the street mowed and this side of the street isn't? Maybe that's just me like overly nitpicking. And things like this, you just kind of have to grasp for some straws regardless of what you think the answer is. But like this pavement looks so real. This looks like standard Gen 4 like coverage, I think in Indonesia or like somewhere in Southeast Asia again. I'm gonna go ahead and say final answer 1, 3, 4 are real, and 2 is AI generated. Okay, for round 1, the imposter is number 2. All right, so we're 1 for 1 so far. This was a lot more difficult than I imagined. I feel like usually when I look at like AI art, I imagine it to be like that cartoony-ish vibe. But even like the kind of the exact angle of the car for number 2 and like the height of the Google Street View camera is so similar that it's kind of eerily scary. That's insanely impressive. Okay, round number 2. Okay, immediately I do not think it's 1. This makes too much sense geographically for it to make sense, for it to be AI. We have this pole right here with like this standard like Ontario lamp with the single yellow road line, which would make a lot of sense for Canada. So like this would be an insanely really good AI, like realistically generated image for it to be AI. Like I think this just has to be real. There's no way they got like Ontario poles. I mean 2 could easily be AI generated. Oh lord, this is gonna be tough. The thing about this is I got JHK to get the locations for me, and he knows winter coverage locks super well. You can tell he knows what he's doing here because this is not easy. What I do like about this image, why I think this could be real, is because since this is going to be Canada or the US, presumably since the top left one is, and I'm assuming they're going to be different similar regions of the world, that you can see that the marks of the tires right here are coming from the same direction that the car would be coming from, driving right, which would make a lot of sense for this to be real. Like I don't know if an AI generated image would have the markings of the tire following the car. Maybe I'm discrediting it a bit, but that would be an extreme eye of detail that I don't think you'd be able to pick up on. But also it's like generating from pre-existing images that probably also have that. So it's hard to say. We can see we're driving right, and which does make sense, and you can see the tire marks. So I'll say that's less likely to be AI because of that reason, but something about it still feels off. 3 here looks like Gen 2 snow coverage, not the US or Canada, I don't think, unless it's like Wisconsin or something. This just looks like kind of standard Gen 3 coverage I'm gonna metagame this because I want to get 100%, okay? I feel like this right here, this color distortion in this image right here is actually really common in Street View. You can see on the trees right here, you have these like green boxes. I feel like that's super common. Oh man, I could be throwing. Because what if that's like an AI messing up? I'm gonna say that distortion is like not AI though, because you do get that common with the Street View camera. And I'll say 4 will be AI because it's driving in the center of the road. Like the poles make sense. They're wooden poles. Like they do make sense. The road lines make sense. Again, I think this will just have to be AI because it's kind of just driving in the middle of the road. But even like this road, like how I was saying, like this road has like the markings, like this road also has like a similar type of wear and tear from cars and things, which is actually super impressive if that's AI. The house feels kind of weird though. This house does. Am I silly for thinking like why would there be 2 telephone wires on the same side of the street? Alright, I'm gonna say this round 4 is AI because it also just looks like slightly off Street View coverage. The imposter for round number 2 is number 4. Or 2 for 2. Okay, that means in the last 3, one of these is gonna have 2, so I need to keep that in mind. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Oh, I potentially could have said both of these were actually, but this looks so good. Like the same process that I'm applying here is kind of the same process that you apply in geoguessr, where like when you're making a guess, you kind of just make guesses because it just feels right. And you can't really describe that feeling because it's something that comes with experience. And I'm gonna be honest, round 3 here is pretty obvious. I don't think I need to spend much time on this, unless there's another one, but this third one looks pretty obviously AI generated. I don't think I've ever seen anywhere on Earth that has this like type of road. This looks like Norway, like near Bergen. This looks like real Norway, like Scandic too. And we have again these like blurs that are common in Street View coverage. This, I'm not sure where actually this is, but I like JHK. I think JHK is what a smart guy. Because he probably put this photo because he wanted to match it to this photo. And he can just find a road that matches anything. That's actually so impressive. Shout out to him for that. But I can see what, I don't know, I'm not sure what this is going for. We have double white center line here, which doesn't really make sense for anything that I would guess for this geographically because like double white center line, where are you going? You have to go like Australia, Malaysia, Poland. This is never Poland. This is never Australia. Maybe you can see myself going weird Malaysia, but this is just, yeah, never Malaysia. It also has that kind of AI look. So I'm pretty confident. I don't think these are 3D generated. Like, actually, I'm gonna look at 2. Oh, dude, wait, this is actually so tough. No, I'm not gonna overlook this. This looks real. What is this though? What is this rock? Is this just like to stop you from parking or something? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I mean, I'm not gonna overthink this. I've seen roads like look exactly like this in Bergen or like Norway, I guess. This looks like Finland, Norway, Sweden, tree with the coverage. The imposter for round number 3 is number 3. Okay, so far so good. I'm not a Facebook mom quite yet, but I could be. So that means one of the last 2 photos has 2. So I gotta keep that in mind. Oh lord, this is not easy. Wait, why are these all so good? So the obvious answer is number 3, because like, probably going for southern Brazil here, but it feels off. It does look so close though. Like this looks so good. I guess it could be like a weird Indonesia. Number 1 looks real, and number 2 also looks real. Or does it? These trees look so real. This pole is throwing me off. Wait, no, this is not real. These leaves don't really make sense. This looks like a piranha pine though, which would make sense. Wait, is that a piranha? Or is it supposed to be a piranha? I can't tell if this is. It looks like this is supposed to be Brazil. And if this is supposed to be Brazil, I don't know what this pole would be doing there. Unless that's not a Brazilian ladder pole. The number 3 is definitely fake. That one's definitely AI. And this one looks real too. You can even see the pole right here in the background, which would be crazy to grab. But this road and vegetation all looks super real. And this pole really makes sense for this. Like these are like similar. It's 2 and 4. Is this the one with 2? Do I do the 2 here? Or is 2 real? I can't tell if 2 is real. Shout out to Pratik, because this is, I did not expect this to be this. I thought it was gonna be like, obviously it's not this one, you silly goose, like, you know. But like, I actually have to use my brain. It looks like we're coming left, we're driving left too on this one, which would actually make sense. If this is supposed to be Indonesia or Brazil, I can't tell what this is supposed to be. But like this fencing would be weird for Indonesia. It makes more sense for Brazil. It could be 1 or 4 actually. I'm just gonna act like I'm playing a game of geoguessr for both, and I like load into each round, and I'm just gonna like get my first reaction. Okay, Indonesia, nice, okay. Brazil, nice, okay. I get this one, I'm like, okay, wait. I've been on this one for like so long. Again though, this one is like mowed correctly, it looks like too. Dude, this is impossible. Like the sky low-key feels, like this looks, it feels off. Like the sky low-key just feels off. Okay, no, wait, no, look at this tree. Wait, look at the branches on this tree. Like these branches look AI. You can't tell me that branch does not look AI. I'm locking it in. 2 and 3 are AI. The imposters for round number 4 are number 2 and 3. Oh my god. That was, guys, I literally might have to go apply deodorant after that one. That one was so like difficult. I mean, 3 was easy. Let's be honest. 3 is just does not look anywhere. 2, this is an insanely good AI. Wait, is this even, I can't even believe this is actually AI. If they cropped the image, like left only, I would never, I think these trees in the right gave it away, but we'll take it. Can we go 6 for 6? I'll be beating the Facebook allegations after this one. Oh no, dude. Why'd they have to be rural? Wait, 1 low-key looks generated. Wait, 3 is low-key generated. No, this is never generated. There's like that red marking on that tree, which is like, there's no way that AI is getting that red marking. Like, I just don't believe it. And this makes sense for like a rural, like Northeast US or like Minnesota or something. Like, that makes sense. The reason why I would say this almost wouldn't be AI is because of the gap in the road line right here. It's too realistic. But that looks just like, everything else just looks kind of AI. 4 looks AI too, actually. I don't know though, because like the faded yellow road line is also pretty good. What trips me up about 4 here is the leaves in the road. Like, this looks like a pretty main used road. Like, it's paved very nicely, which I would assume would mean that this road is used pretty often. Like, geographically, everything makes sense here, but I would assume that those leaves would not stay on the road that long with cars driving by. And especially if we're driving right, unless it's wet. If we're driving right, the wind would take the leaves off the road, right? Is that me way overthinking this? I don't think it's 2 or 3. I think it's 1 or 4. What's interesting about 1 is you can see like the curvature in the road too. And that lines up with like that crack here, right? Like 4 doesn't really look, they have that like AI feel, you know? And it looks like there's a mailbox in the background, but there's also no road for that mailbox to be going into. If that's even a mailbox, I'm overthinking it. I don't know, I've actually sat here for like 20 minutes. I'm gonna say 1's AI generated, final answer. And if it's 4 because of light and my thought process was right, I'm gonna be pretty upset. That's just how the cookie crumbles. The imposter for round number 5 is round 4. No, dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and cope, but like, it was a 50-50 for me. Okay.